Our program starts shortly. Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by AcousticHealth.com. I'm Loren Galey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. And in today's quantum conversation, we are connecting with that true essence of who we truly are. It is something that we invoke from within us. And my guest today is a beautiful healer here to share a transmission and messages from Grandmother Speaks, Grandmother Alu Shama. Karina Shaha is here, and I want to invite you to create a warm welcome in your heart for the beautiful messages we are to receive. Karina, thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome.
It is a true honor and blessing to be with you today, and I am so looking forward to being able to meet and connect and share with your community as well, see what comes through.
Yes, we're going to see what comes through. Let's first talk about your personal story, and then we're going to open this up for a couple of callers to interact with you. So callers on the line, *2 if you're on the phone, and we will get to your questions. Let's talk about how you made this connection, because yet again, here is a beautiful story of near-death experiences. You've had 3 of them, Karina, so share with us what happened there.
Well, for my journey here, I was born this way. People ask me, well, how did you come about this? I have been living this way my entire life, waiting for this time when consciousness would be at a certain level in which I could spend time unveiling who I am. Throughout the human journey, definitely there's been experiences with being able to inhabit a form and being able to be in a physical body. And so with that journey, as you have said with many other teachers and mystics, there's levels of consciousness and awareness and vibratory fields that come in. And so upgrades, uplinks can occur. So for me, at the age of 8, I had what seemed like just a normal fever that turned into a very serious illness, but no one was necessarily recognizing it in my home. Not that my family wasn't loving or amazing, but I ended up passing out, hitting my head, and completely leaving my body for around 8 minutes. In that time frame, I was, lifted from my body into the higher realms, in which I traveled through many different dimensions that I was actually really consciously familiar with, that was definitely much more home-like than perhaps the vibratory fields on this planet. Subsequently, from that experience, I was able to connect into the harmonies that are present in the universe and in dimensions, and I came to a deep awareness about the sound of light that travels through all different dimensions. I was given the choice to stay in the light or return back to my physical form and help to raise the vibration. And that decision that unfolded, it was instantaneous. Little did I know that what I would enter back into would be a very painful experience. Leaving the form, of course, is a very light, very joyous, and it's an experience of deep reconciliation. It's a deep experience of being enveloped. And I was enveloped with the sound frequencies of the realization that each soul, each being, each is carrying a tone, and that tone is unique, given to each aspect of creation in which it will carry forth through time, space, and dimensions into different incarnations before entering into a depth of consciousness and awareness in which we would become a form. And in that form, we would enter into, we could say, human form or other different forms depending on the dimension that one is in. In that way, the experience of this that happened to me in that first incarnation, first time frame of that first near-death experience, then prepared me for my next one that happened in my 20s when I was given another opportunity to either leave or remain. I chose to remain. And then in my 30s, just before I was going to give birth to my son, which is another miracle unto itself, because I was very ill at the time again, and I was not technically supposed to be able to have a child, and I put my health at risk, but I chose to stay and give him that opportunity, and I died on the table. I came back, and again, another level or layer of this overlaying of frequency and vibration that was delivered to me. And in each time, the same divine loving presence, the same harmonies of awareness, the same realizations of how every layer in every part of consciousness and every part of dimension is all harmonically cooperating to allow our consciousness to reside, to remain, and to rise up into the field of the divine nature of what we all are naturally. We are already naturally in our divine state. It takes a lot of energy and pressure to separate a natural, organic relationship. And so now we come to the realization of the pressure that is put upon each individuated soul that comes into civilization. And so the reason why I'm here is to bring about the awareness of the harmonic balance of grace, which acknowledges the gift of who we truly are, and the heart whispering, which is being able to listen deeply through the vapor of the soul, in which it releases a frequency that allows for all of us to actually hear through the heart. And when we hear through the heart, we can listen with the deepest capacity of love. And in that field of grace, we can supersede all the karmic energy frequencies that try to keep an individuated space of this tone or note or spark from its origination of the original song of all the universes and all God's creation of God, goddesses. So that's it in a nutshell, in a very quick little encapsulated awareness.
It's so beautiful, so precious because of that experience. Just for a quick moment, and again, we're gonna do a group process, but let's go into the near-death experiences. You're there and you're feeling this layer and frequency of vibration, and you're given the choice because you know what you're here on earth to do. That's very powerful. Did you see a light or any visuals as these were occurring?
Absolutely. Okay. So everything in the senses is different outside of this dimension. So, for instance, color, you can hear it, you can touch it. The light that is vibrating is what we call the rainbow body. So I could hear the color of frequency. I could touch the sound in a way, not in a physical form, but there was a kind of tactile expression or experience of being able to really, in the senses, it's almost like giving me in the senses the awareness of the higher aspects of our own natural senses in our physical form, and saying to me that this is the leap, this is the quantum leap that will come, where you will be able to hear, see in ways that are beyond this veil right now. So I felt like I was penetrating so many layers and depths. Now, it wasn't necessarily a religious process as some experience, because my consciousness field was already tuned as I was always in communion. So it was just a natural evolution for me to step out of the form and out of the name, birthplace, and birth state, and into who I am, like as a fully actualized being in that state. And so my experience was that love is a harmonic presence, and it radiates deep tuning songs, and it's like an orchestral sound. So when I was shown the sun, our sun, it's like a 10 billion voice choir. And then when I was shown the harmonics of different layers of consciousness, it was like I could hear all the different songs, but they were out of harmony. And so there's this constant tuning process that's going on. And as I would reach into the very heart and soul of all that is, it's like imagining a billion upon a billion upon a billion suns and souls all merging together in this harmony of spheres is what they call it. And it was a trillion voice chorus, but singing a voice of sound that penetrated every aspect of my being and creation, and said to me in a voice, in a sound, and words that I can't even speak, but the closest I can is to say, love is, I am, you are, be.
Feeling the power and the vibration in those words that you're using to describe that incredible feeling and that incredible sound. Oh my goodness. So what do you do today in this role when you interface with sound, when you utilize sound with your singing bowls? How has that changed the work that you do with sound?
It's a thread. I call it the sutra, which means thread. And it's a golden thread that's woven through my being. And I am just a deep listener. So that's why I've been called a heart whisperer. And I'm listening. And I'm always listening to the different frequencies that I'm hearing in each soul. And so when I hear where there's a frequency that, or a sound, or a sonic awareness, or a consciousness awareness that just needs a gentle attunement, every being is an instrument. And we think about an instrument. So for instance, do you have a guitar or a piano and it's out of tune? You don't throw it away. You tune it. So the consciousness field just needs adjustments and attunements. And when we tune it, we are listening deeply. What I'm also listening for is what I call the vapor. The vapor is like it's the soundless depth of frequency that I can hear through the tuning, like the tuning fork of my body and being, especially through the heart. And when I'm able to listen to that deeply, because I have been tuning myself and this frequency that I carry for eons upon eons. So arriving here at this time frame is because there's a great harmonic upshift going on, as there's so many teachers here at this time. So when I'm listening, I'm also gazing, and I'm also witnessing, and I'm feeling the frequency of grace come through me. And grace is the gift. So I spend time acknowledging, gazing, witnessing, and listening to each being that is present with me, or in large groups, or whatever it is that I'm doing. Sometimes sacred sound will come through, sometimes specific questions. Oftentimes it's what I call the Universal Oversoul, or Grandmother Alushama, who is that which guides and works through with my mission here. And she is an aspect of my ascended nature. She will enter in, and through her, just this transmission. And she always says, well, you're a receiver and transmitter. So you need to look at how you can refine what is being sent out, the signal. And we do that by that deep inner listening. We do that by listening to the whispers of the soul that are contained in the High Holy Heart, or the Immaculate Presence that's intact. It never dies. It's never been born. It's a part of Source Divine, or the inception point in each being. And when we can get that being to enter into that high holy heart space, some have called it the Grail Cup, some have called it the Chalice. There's all different names for it, the Holy of Holies. To enter into that space of deep devotional divine love, in that sweet space, the mind relaxes, the heart opens, and all is gently revealed.
You just gave us the beautiful protocol to listen to the whispers of the heart. The deep devotional divine love, it will speak to us. There may be some who have a challenge hearing it. Do you have any advice on that? How we can really discern it and hear it?
It all starts with the breath. Now we know that we are breathing in oxygen, but we are also breathing in presence. So what I do with individuals is I ask them to open up what is called the bottom of a pranic tube of frequency, and that's like working with their earth star or their mission here. And I ask them to breathe up life force. Some have called it prana, chitta, ki, and when they are breathing up that life force, they're increasing what's called light body essence, which is helping to increase the frequency, to increase the speed of the quantum field within them. It's increasing the refinement of all of the energy within their body. They're making an intention to say, I willingly acknowledge the gift of who I truly am. Get them to place their hands on their heart center. I'm not talking about the physical heart, but with the thymus gland. They simply breathe in, and they begin to release with the sound of ah, which is the sound of the heart. And in lots of practices where people are using the word ah. Ah helps to just calm down the body and being. It centers us. And as they are breathing up that life force, then they can feel a more calming vibration within the body. It helps to deeply relax them. Secondly, they can open up the top of what's called a pranic tube, working with their with the vision of their frequency of their mission. And through that, we work with the soul star, and we just deliver the light force that comes down. Life force rises, light force descends. And again, you're breathing in. Light force rises. That's prana. Light force descends. That's presence. The two commingle in the center of the heart. And what I say with each being is, I am here. I am loved. I am whole. I am loving. I am home. I am love. I am loved. I have the capacity to receive. I am loving. I have the capacity to transmit. I am love. I'm centered in that power right there. I am here. I am whole. I am home. 3 simple things which represent 3 different frequencies of energy. The I am here is saying I'm ready to receive omnipresence, or the love of all that is, and that will enter into the field, do exactly whatever is needed. You are open and receptive to receive. It's saying, I am loved. I'm here. It's like saying to Source Divine, I'm here. I'm ready to receive your gifts. And then when you receive those gifts, you feel the wholeness or the oneness. And you say, I am whole. I am loving. I have this gift and capacity, and I can give this forth. I am whole. And finally, I am home. When we feel those aspects of the I am whole, we're experiencing what's called omniscience, or the supreme intelligence. First, we have to acknowledge that we're worthy of being loved. That's what weaves that beloved cup that allows for that light to descend. Oftentimes we have spiritual experiences, but they don't last, or they will remain for a period of time until we are ready to acknowledge the gift of who we truly are. It's very hard for us to receive and give of our gifts, Because first we have to have the self-estimation. We have to say to the Source Divine, I'm here. I am your cosmic agent of cosmic play and divine interaction. And that which is this instrument plays the music of your divine mission for me here. I am here. And you're not only saying I'm here to Source, but you're sending that signal out. I am here to the soul groups, to humanity. You're standing firmly in the presence that rises. And as challenging as that can be, by just placing your hand on your heart when you're in a troubled situation, how many times have we wanted to have someone just say, I'm here for you. And I hear you.
We are here as agents of cosmic play. I love that. It's acknowledging the gift who we are. So beautiful the way that you express that. And I know that we're all right there with you. We were following along, hands on the heart, and really breathing in that pranic energy. That is beautiful and empowering. I know that sometimes we are so hesitant to stand in this power, to stand firmly in that presence. Yet when we are bold enough to do so, we are inspired in new ways. And would you say that this year the energies are actually really helping us with this and actually prodding us along so that we actually upgrade to allow for this?
Yes, absolutely. We are also in a way, receiving anything that may oppose us. And it's not, it may seem like to be coming from the outside, but it's generated from so much harmonic light that's pouring in, that's literally bringing to the surface any last vestiges of any kind of subconscious programming that may be stored from what I call the mother line or the father line. And it's the field of the ancestral energy that we stepped into. So our soul was hearing this call from the soul of humanity, and we answered that call, and that call answered to us. It's our name here in this physical form. When that name matched with a soul essence and joined together, we also stepped into the lineages. We stepped into our mother's and father's line. And so when we are reaching to the last little vestiges of anything that's left over from any ancestral field of what we entered into, it can be cleared so gently through the awareness of what the mother line goes to and what the father line goes to. And what we do is we actually unlink our DNA from the frequency field of our ancestral lineage and return it back to our divine heritage, to that which is the true divine DNA. And in that, the 90% that stays dormant begins to start to come to life. And that's where I call it the libraries of liberation. It does not discount the mother or father, it actually honors them. Because what we do is we are clearing the mother line and father line and returning all of the DNA that has been stored as a storage capacitor in our being, and we're returning it back to source and saying thank you. Thank you for the mission, and thank you for the method of my delivery of this message.
Yes. Okay, so the ancestral DNA, the awareness, is that a difficult process to do that? Is that something that we can sit with? Do we have to be aware of the feelings, or is it more of paying attention to when we are taken out of these moments of bliss? That's what is the thread.
It's basically coming to the realization of what is the relationship I have with my current birth mother? What is the relationship I have with my current birth father? How do I relate to my birth name? It's a calling forth through that birth name. And what happens is we just travel that line up through the mother line, through her womb, through her vibratory frequency, and it'll just naturally lead us we'll have imagery, whatever will come, breath work will come through. And it takes us back to what we call source, or the inception point. In that particular ancestral line. See, we entered into this form, into that ancestral line for a reason. It wasn't just haphazard, it happened. The calling came out. We answered that call. So there's a connection there that's so powerful. When we can come to terms with the deep ancestral lineage on either side, mom or dad. Even if we're adopted, it doesn't matter. It'll still flow through. It happens naturally. All of everything that I do in the teachings that I come to deliver, I always say it's a very organic and natural process. There's nothing that we really have to do per se, because it's already been in the field intended. When we sit in that silence and stillness, when we allow for the natural flow through the heart, it happens. Because everyone who's listening, who's on this line right now and listening to you and all the beautiful work that you do, at the very core of their being, there is just a seated divine being, a master that knows exactly the right way to guide. And when we just go into that listening space, into that quiet space of calm, confidence, and that the collective field, it really naturally unfolds. I've discovered this over and over again. If I try to process something too much, it actually leads us out into what we call a spiritual bypass. So it's better to do this naturally and organically. It happens in so many different ways, and there's so many different amazing teachers on the planet that it's probably done for probably at least 90% of the beings right now on the planet right now who are practicing some kind of spiritual awareness. It's already unfolding. This is just my awareness of understanding about ancestral processes. And I can say that when the mother line and the father line is fully cleared, we as a whole collective will rise up. And it is happening. And I 100% agree with you. This year, I like to say the shift has hit the fan. Like, it's just like happening everywhere.
Yes. Yes. And it's almost 2020. Almost. You know, it's a couple months away.
Yeah. Wow.
But it'll be here in the flash of an eye, and that to me is quite amazing. And so it really is happening one heart at a time. Do we remember December 21st, 2012? I know I was part of that lightworker crowd that was expecting like an ecstasy fest where people would just look at one another and want to hug another. And I actually was quite depressed when I woke up in Peru and just realized things were still pretty much the same, but yet that was only my perception. And what I've learned since then is there is this incredible shift, and it happens one heart at a time. And so here you are, the heart whisperer, and your near-death experiences, all three of them, showed you this vibration that you've brought back, and you are assisting others in feeling it, in recognizing it from within themselves, because it's here. And I love that. So in the personal sessions, we're going to take a couple of callers here, but in your personal sessions, you'll actually do that, right? Where you will maybe look at the ancestral DNA.
Yes, absolutely. If it's the right time, like every being has their own season and own time. I'm the listener. And so these are offerings and gifts. It's not telling the person how to be. I already come to the assumption that they're already totally sovereign, noble, and divine. And I am sitting in my heart mastery. And even if they don't feel like they're in theirs, I'm just going to witness it. I'm going to witness it. I'm going to peer through the appearances and perhaps give to them the vision of taking off the human goggles of perception and putting on goddesses goggles and putting them on and go, whoa, did you notice that? Did you see what that was over there? Hey, where did that come from? It's like for instance, it's like you've just taken a whole veil off of something and you're looking around and going, where was that? Where did that come from? I never noticed that before. Oh my gosh. And the experiences that people have is they always say, I feel lighter. I have so much more capacity of awareness and understanding of who I am. And to me, that's like the greatest gift of being able to be in the presence of another, is to witness who they already are. And I'm watching as those veils dissolve, as the perception begins to melt away, and then what is left is just this gorgeous, pristine presence. And again, I am one of many amazing and beautiful souls who are here doing their incredible work, including what you're doing here right now, which is bringing us all to share with your guests and with those that listen in. So for me, it's like an honor and blessing to be able to show them about divine encodings and understanding about there's 7 essential living bodies for like harmonic health. I work with the drum beat and toning and sacred sound because it helps to uplift and purify the body. Now, if we think about the body and we ingest food, some are doing it with just pure breath. God has blessed them. Some of us haven't quite reached that. We still like our cheesecake. But anyways, when it comes to the body, there is the body of light. The body of light, it lives on pure love. So the more that we can increase the divine devotional love, the more that we can breathe that through, the more that we can begin to understand that the ascension process is about anointing and revivifying the light body, and doing that through this divine food, or what I like to call the holy harmonies. We can actually begin to feel how the light body builds and is reconstructed, or I like to say rewoven into its highest matrix. And so I work with the 3 gifts of Source: the love of all that is, omnipresence, the supreme intelligence, omniscience, and the divine wisdom, omnipotence. And these 3 gifts that are essential to be opened into each being. And as I did at the beginning, it's so simple. I am here. I am loved. I am whole. I am loving. I am home. I am love. Now, in the simplicity of that, as grandmother says, it's simple, but it's not always easy. Sometimes you just need a little hand to hold as you begin to walk across the bridge of freedom.
So beautiful. Again, we're feeling the energy of that, and it is exquisite. And one of the best ways to see how you help make this shift in your clients is to take a couple of calls from our audience. And then we'll close with a golden sutra, maybe a transmission, but let's first see how it is that you work with your clients and get them to shift. So we're going to go to the phone lines. Listeners, if you're on the phone at acoustichealth.com, you join the audio webcast by phone, and that will allow you to hit star 2 to raise your hand. We're going to go to Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and I believe it's Bonnie. Hello, you are unmuted.
Hi, it's Linda.
Hi,
I would
Linda.
love to know what my divine harmonies are.
Thank you, Linda, for tuning in. There is such a frequency in your harmonies to be able to balance earth energies. At times you can be walking on the earth and you can literally feel when something is out of balance. And so you have a gift with working with nature, with what we call the song lines, which are the ley lines on the planet, or known as the dragon lines. And so you have a really great capacity with the crystalline kingdom, with the Devic kingdom, which is working with the Fey folk, or that which is the unseen energies that support all life and all growth, which is like germination, seeding, consciousness. It doesn't necessarily mean about gardens, but that can be a part of it. But it's more to do with being able to balance the earth energy so she can birth herself into the same, if not more profound consciousness field that again brings this new earth frequency. you also have an incredible ability with being able, like, to be, where I'm a heart whisperer, you're like an animal whisperer. You can just hear the frequencies of when animals, anywhere from domestic animals to wild animals, and where they are in their journey with our connection. And as a human species, some of us are still interconnected and really know how to be able to communicate. But you've got that gift to be able to listen in, and it's through the consciousness field of your third eye, which is really powerful in being able to have visions and seeing. So that harmonic is really, really strong. Now, one of your challenges is in the second chakra, which is connected to the third eye, which is allowing for the creative force to flow through you. And maybe at a tender age, someone said, "Oh, why are you drawing that way? Why are you singing that way? Why are you doing that?" And so we're just sort of gently going into the harmonic of that second chakra and just gently opening up what I call the bud or the flower there, and giving permission to that inner sweet child to say, it's okay to play. It's okay to fall down in the mud. It's okay to make a mess. It's okay to be able to play. It's okay to bang around the keys on the piano. It's okay to strum on a guitar and not make perfect sound, because all sound at the highest level is perfect. So when I see this into you, I see there's a communication or communion that would really help you to balance that second chakra is through drum beats, drum beating and toning, so you can help through dance, through movement, through connecting into your physical form. And again, this will just help to rebalance all those frequencies so you can continue to do your incredible work for supporting the planet. And then in a way, you almost came for the crystalline grids of the planet more so than just for humanity's consciousness. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. You're making me cry.
You're such a beautiful soul. Oh my gosh, Phil, thank you so much for coming for Gaia. She needs as many of I call her like womb whisperers, and to be able to support her. Like, just even if you just stand on some place on the earth that you feel, and you just let your heart open, and whatever sound that comes through, or whatever movement that through your body that comes through, and you just do that, you're actually just helping to restore some of those broken ley lines. So we just totally thank you.
Oh, I have such a connection with animals. They come to me and they just put themselves in front of me and they don't leave me alone. And I'm a good poet. I mean, I have a lot of, but you just told me something about the earth that I had no knowledge of. So I thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Beautiful. Oh, Linda, isn't that wonderful? And doesn't that feel empowering? Because this will help you get forward on your path, right? Taking the next step and doing the work in service.
Everything she said. I love crystals. I love everything she said. Everything. It's wonderful. I thank you so much.
Beautiful. And so that is you standing firmly in your presence and acknowledging the gift that you are. Wow, Linda, you are an agent of cosmic play. And you're here to help us with new earth creations. And so that's it, girlfriend. Excellent. Have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you for your help.
Oh, you're welcome.
I love the tears because for me, whenever I get teary, I know it's truth, and I actually can cry at the drop of a hat, but it's great because that's my inner compass. It's like I know it's the truth, and so when we recognize that truth within us, we're kind of sad because we're not sad, but our heart is opening even more to it, and that's where the tears are coming from. So I love it. It's beautiful. Okay. Yes. Let's go to another caller, because it's really interesting to see how you work. You just had heard a few words from Linda, but yet you were able to just hone right in. Is that from the frequency in her voice that you're hearing?
It's already prior arrived. Like, it's already here. we can say we're in this timeline, but we're in multiple timelines all at the same time. So it's already arrived. That information between us, we already made this agreement to line up and show up with one another. And I'm just passing on a message to her soul and being that was delivered through her soul and being directly. And I'm giving it back to her and saying, look at the wonder of who you are.
Yes. Okay. All right. We're moving right along to our next caller. This time we're going to Melissa in Los Angeles. Hi, Melissa.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm so glad you called on me.
Sure.
So I would love to know what you see or to clear from my ancestry.
I just ask you right now, if you can, to put your, if you're on a phone or whatever, you can put one of your hands into your heart center, and just for this moment, Melissa, just give yourself the opportunity to say, this is my moment to breathe in all that I am, and to feel that no matter what has been said, no matter what has been done, no matter what these are appearances, these beautiful beings on the stage, these characters, these storylines, all of them are interwoven for this moment to say that your self-worth, who you are, as I like to say, do you want to continue down the path of hard work, pounding down that stone of divinity into a piece of dust to really feel the consciousness, or heart worth, and affirm now in this moment that it is clear that you are already in that space of love, in truth. No matter what has happened through the relationship with your mother and any fields that have carried the frequency of you have to do something in order to be something. And her frequency that carries through you and a lot of intense pressure that's slowly and gently right now just being lifted off. It's like a well that's been capped for a long time. And so right now, the stone is being lifted off, and that on that stone is written some words that says, guilt and shame melt away, and all that is left is the opening unto this day. The sun that shines through you now is the clearest path of your living in the frequency of this divine light, and allow yourself to breathe, allow yourself to be the energy that's flowing through the mother line right now. In all of the confusion that you have had around understanding your own physiology that may have affected the way that you can even just experience your own natural cycles in your body and being, the way that things can sometimes speed up so quickly that you don't know what day or time it is. It's like your consciousness is now being centered very clearly in this timeline and frequency. When I see the father line, I see there's almost an absence there. And so I bring back the father love back into you to say, I've got your back. I'm there for you. You're okay. You're more than okay. There's this stunning beauty in your creativity. Pick up the paintbrush of your awareness. The canvas is now clean and clear. It's been stretched wide open for you. And there on the palette are new colors and new frequencies for you. This is a metaphor right now that's flowing through. We're delivering a transmission to you and saying to you that your value and worth is not determined by anything external. It's assured. It already is deeply at your core. This is playing the bowls right now for you. There's an ancient lineage through your grandmother, through the grandmother wisdom and the grandmother teachings. I'm going into the womb frequency in your body and being, and just lifting up as I would see the sand and the silt that's still in that well, and clearing it out so that fresh, renewed water, the waters of pure light, can flow through. And I'm feeling that frequency move through you now, as we call language of light, to just allow for the bubbling up. Drink of that. You're parched, you're thirsty, you're longing, and you're desiring to understand How is it this soft, sweet, sensitive being could be put into such a place of pressure? Sometimes a piece of coal turns into the most exquisite diamond, but right now it feels like you're crushing under it. And so we lift up that pressure. We lift that up. And all of that combined right now in your beloved heart and being, carrying forth what we call the innocence of the child within your being, within the womb of your creativity. And we see that there are writings, there are teachings, and there's divine awarenesses that need to come through you that are related to the sweetness of the children that are calling forth in circles around you. It can be children that are in adult bodies, and it can be just little ones that are just coming onto the planet. You have such a soft sweetness. You have such a gentle heart. And we bring the assurance to you that you, no matter what has ever happened to you, what has ever been done, you are intact. You are whole. There is an immaculate presence within you. We send forth this love to you now in the awareness that is already within you and divinely flowing through you. Love, love be thy name, Melissa. Love, love be thy name. This is the feeling we have for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Melissa. Share with us how that resonates.
I was just doing everything I could to take it in as much as I can in this moment.
Okay, beautiful. We'll come back and listen to the replay as well. It's about 48 minutes in. Okay?
Thank you.
You'll get more the next time. Great. Well, I want to make a mention that personal sessions with Corinna Shah are available. And Corinna, those obviously are much longer than just the minute or two that you're doing here. These are really ways that people can step fully into their new earth mission. Talk a little bit about what happens with people in those longer sessions. What's that like?
So it's a heart harmonics attunement session, and what we do is we have the one-on-one live connection call with me, so it's through Zoom, and they have the video and audio playback. They also receive a one-of-a-kind healing symbol that goes along with that, a sound and light language mantra and mudra to assist in their holy healing of their heart. We move into incredible, again, frequencies of listening deeply. We're in presence. They get to relax into their body and being. They can experience divine healing frequencies that move through their 7 essential living bodies to bring about that positive harmonic health. They have the experience of being able to align with divine balance, to ignite life force, to help activate their mission on earth. We just spend time with one another deeply in the wisdom teachings of their own embodiments, who they are. There's lots of transmissions sent forth. There's lots of feelings of being able to just be present exactly where they are in that attunement. We really listen to where there are different places in their body, in their being, in their life mission, where subtle tunings can take place. And through those subtle tunings, they begin to experience a lightening and a lifting of some of the heavier birth cycles. We move out of the awareness of samsara, which is the cycle of death and birth, and we move out of the psychological senses into self-realization, self-actualization, and self-knowledge. Now, this session is very, very comprehensive, and it really gives them the opportunity just to open up and lift a veil, to really look into what I call the book or the chapter of their life at that particular moment. But also it examines past incarnations. It looks at different means and ways in which some of the messaging of their being has been confused, and how they can have a whole new refreshed vision and understanding of some of the experiences of their lives. And they can come to that place, what I call of divine grace, working with grandmother Alashama, which is the Universal Oversoul. And when she comes in, it's just subtle words. It's just subtle refinements in the body and the being. And again, it's very, very gentle, very loving presence. When we have the opportunity to just sit in our being and be witnessed and seen, to be heard, to be recognized, to be in the presence of our own divine nature, many, many things are revealed. Many, many things open up. And I never know what's going to unfold in any given session. It's always such a miracle and surprise to me. So I really, really, I love offering these sessions.
Okay, beautiful. The Heart Harmonics session, again, that is available on this special offer on the webpage here. So those are beautiful. We're going to do a few more of those. Can you share with us a little bit about what that was like for you when you came into this higher aspect of yourself, Grandmother Alushama?
Yes, I had always felt that presence in the background, but in 2016, I had some humongous life-altering experiences within my family and in the dynamics of my life. And that voice, that being came to the forefront, and I began to receive transmissions, direct transmissions from her, through her, and within me. To date now, I have close to 55 transmissions that are written experiences and teachings. With grandmother, there's this embodiment of, the deepest, most loving wisdom I've ever experienced in my life. I kind of equate it to the moment, I don't know how else to describe it, but at the moment of a child being born, it's placed in the mother's arms. She gazes into this little new being, and there's just this fulfillment of a moment between, the father and the mother gazing at this child. Then this child is handed to the grandmother or grandfather, and the grandmother just gazes into this little new being, and she says, "Look at you, all brand new, never born, never died, always alive, always here, always with us in our heart. We love you eternally. Look at you, little one. Look at you, never born, to never die, always infinite, eternal light." And that's what came through me when she became so intimately familiar with me. And she always says, this is always all that we ever see in each being, is that immaculate heart, that infinite. And that's the experience that people have when grandmother and I merge fully, and she just comes in, and there's just this opening into this wisdom of her knowing that is the grandmother we all wish we could be held as a little being, newborn. And she's saying to each being, when you enter into the higher dimensions, there is a welcoming, there's an invitation, and it's right through your heart.
Yes, so beautiful. And we can feel and hear the Divine Mother and the Divine Feminine aspects coming through you as you speak too. It really is quite a sacred, nurturing feeling. It's quite exquisite. Thank you for sharing that. And I just want to say that this is something that we can all experience within our own selves as well. And you said it, Corinna. It's the gateway through the heart, the sacred heart, the holy heart. So beautiful. Okay, well, let's go back to a phone caller. This time we're going to South San Francisco, phone number ending 5351. Hi, you're unmuted. What's your name, please?
Wow, okay, it's Kathy.
Hi, Kathy. You have a question for Corinna.
Oh, wow. Yeah, basically I had my own major spiritual awakening a few years ago when I've kind of really been lost. I tapped into some other things on a higher level, but I just feel like I've been blocked and I don't know, I've lost my purpose, and I know I didn't go through this to go back to the life that I had. Is there any thing that you can help me with there?
Thank you for reaching out, Kathy. So one of the things that we share is that if we look at something like a block, it's one of those things that takes time to dissolve. But if we see it as a lock, every lock has a key, and the key to unlocking or unblocking, if you want, whatever you want to say, but we like to see it as a lock with a key that unlocks. We come back to that moment, to that exquisite moment when we came to this realization that I am a beloved spiritual being in a human existence. Now, those so-called blocks that you call that are rising up, they are aspects of you that are asking to come home. We now envision this moment in which there is an opportunity for you in the home of your being to sit at a table where a divine meal is prepared, and you are sitting at the head of the table, and the aspect of your divinity is on the other end, and then all those other aspects that have brought you into that confounded, confused state are now going to come in one by one and enter in, and welcome to sit at this table, of which all of the food is filled with that divine radiance. In that awareness, the body and the being of you seeing the energies of this confusion or who you are, they slowly, one by one, begin to take in the food of the high holy heart, and they merge, dissolve, and melt back into you. Now, for the different pathways of the seeker and those that long to return to the home of their being, come to this realization that everything that you are is already within you. And we all know this. We've heard this so many different ways. But how does one access this? When one has come to a certain plateau or level of being, and you're trying to go back down the path to see, well, where did I get off the wrong location? Am I up here? I'm not seeing anything. I'm feeling like everything's kind of in a static space, and I don't know where to go or what to do. And we say, sit. Find the nearest comfortable place and sit in that space as that frequency within your being begins to gently open. And you return back. I would say go to the nearest, most beautiful place you can find on the earth. Sit and connect into the nature of who you are. In your awareness of what it is that you offer and who you are at this time, you are going through this process so that you can help others to come out of it, those that begin a journey but then get lost along the way. How many of us have had those moments where we're going somewhere and then all of a sudden our GPS doesn't work, or I'd like to say God's personal awareness is there for us, and we just feel like, where am I? What is going on? That's when we come to that place of being still, where we sit, where we breathe into the heart, where we let go, where we empty out any ideas, any notions of what we should be, the shoulds and the have-tos, the heaviness of, why is this not working for me? This worked for me before. Because you are literally being prepared and raised for higher frequency. So as we started at the beginning, we talked about that beautiful feast. So each aspect of your being is coming in, it's sitting, it's receiving this divine meal as we're speaking right now, and it is beginning to just dissolve and melt back into you. Any concerns, any worries, I'm not doing enough, I'm working at this hard enough, I'm not this, I'm not that. Let go of all that friction that you may have about how to make this come about, and just sit in this beloved energy and awareness. Breathe into the heart right now. Take in a deep breath and relax into your being. open up. Let whatever comes in this moment. The gifts that you have to offer to so many beings, it's simply being prepared. They're simply unfolding and getting ready for you. And so there's just some natural parts of you that just need to dissolve and be let go of. And so that's why all those aspects are coming in, integrating, embodying, coming into your field, and then just dissolving and melting. So you take that beautiful morsel of love, beautiful morsel of grace. It enters into the field, and you chew on that. It dissolves, it melts in, metabolizes through your system, and you feel the nurturance and love. And you could be really, really hard on yourself, and you've learned patterns of pressing and pushing, and this is not the place to do that right now. It's just to come into that quiet stillness. It's like sitting by waters. It's sitting in the watery frequency. It's sitting in the flow of the natural rhythm. It's sitting in that beautiful, elegant space. It's letting your body be tuned. It's letting your body relax into. These things will come in the right time for you. There's so much that's flowing through right now, and I'm trying to just be very, very gentle with you, because you have such a sensitive soul, such a loving being, and you want to do so much. But you have to learn how to receive first, to take in and be honored. So we're honoring you right now, and we're giving to you, and we're thanking you for all the blessings and all the prayers and all the intentions that you have brought forward. And now every prayer, every intention, every moment is being brought back to you right now and back into your heart. If you are open to receive these gifts, they are being delivered to you right now. You will see in the coming days and weeks and months that things will slowly begin to lighten when you take the pressure off of you. Because as we know, it's really important for that little seed underneath the earth, when it is being germinated, we don't see all the activity going on down there, rooting and germinating and getting planted so it's got nice good roots. So when that shoot pops up, that's when we see the growth above. There's lots of things beneath the surface that are going on, things that are being orchestrated and prepared for you. We ask you now to have the deepest faith and trust as again we bring that divine meal, as we bring this beautiful divine blessings back to you that you have so lovingly given in your prayers and your intentions. We so hope this helps you, dear one, to know that by receiving in these blessings, you are actually giving back to your soul roots. Thank you, dear one.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Kathy, thank you. So share with us, please, any response or resonance that you felt with that message.
Absolutely, no. Yeah, I totally what she was saying. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to interrupt. But everything that you're saying, I feel like I have been preparing for something that I'm supposed to do, something much greater than what I've done in the past. And I guess I'm just not sure how it's going to transpire and what that's going to look like yet. But I resonate with everything that you said.
It's you're learning right now one of the hardest things in the spiritual process, which is patience, persistence, and position. And so, like in that time before the shoot pops up from the earth, all the workings that are going on underneath, I would say, please get yourself prepared for that coming of that new growth that's going to come through, absolutely. And letting go of anything you need to let go of, whether it's physically letting go of things, whether it's ideas of how, and just concentrate on receiving in every last blessing that you've been putting out in many lifetimes. It's not just this one, dear one. And you've come here and you have been a gardener of souls and ideas and dreams. They will come to fruition. We see this. And with that patience, so much can be revealed to you. And, we live in this kind of world of instantaneous everything, but we know that the truth in nature is that it has its season and time, and you really are on the cusp of this. It is coming. It's just allowing yourself to receive. And that's the big shift for a lot of people, is taking off the pressure.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. I have been trying to let go of things, and a lot of it has been, unfortunately, family. But sometimes, you have to do what you have to do to try to go forward.
Yes, and all of that entails the levels of attachment, and sometimes it feels like that every time there is that letting go, it's a lifting, but it's also those moments of being able to stay where you are in this space and then ask for this new to come at the same time. And so preparing your emotional body to be able to be in that space of freedom, and then also to feel in the consciousness field that there are things you're still letting go of and holding on. So it is a transition period. And listen, it's across the board on this planet right now, okay? We can see these huge shiftings of power structures going on. And in those power structures within your own being, it's just this incredible awareness of you, just as you, without even having to do anything, just the energy emanating from you. If you just walk through a field of people without saying a single thing, and you're in your divine presence, oh my gosh, the amount that you are doing in that way. Just think about that for a moment. That's a profound shift right there.
Okay. I understand.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, both of you.
Awesome. And it is that divine feminine aspect as well, where we trust and we know that the inspiration will become. So happy writing in your journal, receiving all these downloads and the information that comes to us when we're in that space. It really is quite beautiful. Yes. Yeah. Okay. And then the next challenge, well, no, I'm not going to say challenge, but then we take action steps, and that's when it gets really fun. And, we actually have been talking about this, that our linear mind and the mind of the shoulds, like you were saying, gets in the way, and we can stop that flow if we're not careful. We just have to work through it and just continue with those ideas and not let the ego mind come in and say, yeah, but how are you going to do that? You don't have the resources, et cetera, et cetera. Right. We have to just really trust.
And that's, the thing is we're in charge of the what. The universe is in charge of the how. If we get in the way of the how, it can really feel like an overwhelming experience. But the what is over to us.
I love that. Okay, awesome. Well, we have time for one more caller, one more question. This time we are going to Everett, Washington. It looks like Christy is on the phone. Hi, you're unmuted. Phone number ending in 4179. Okay, we are moving on. Apologies. Let's go to Donna in Hightowns, New Jersey.
Hello?
Hi there. Is this Donna?
No, that was Donna's old number, but they keep calling me Donna.
What's your name?
Pat. My name is Pat.
Hi, Pat. Okay,
I'm so honored to listen to you. The energy is so beautiful.
Yes.
And I can feel the major processes I'm going through, but I have this situation feeling the energy, and I guess I'm feeling very lightheaded, and it comes and goes,
Yes. So it's actually like a physical process of almost moving into like a feeling of being dizzy or having vertigo, or feeling like you're, not feeling grounded and wanting to remain connected.
And I try to ground every day with Mother Earth and go out there and connect with nature. And I've been doing that for a long, long time. Yeah.
Okay. And so at this point in your journey right now, do you know like, do you have an inkling a little bit beforehand, or does it just come on all of a sudden?
I just flow with it on a day-to-day basis, and I get my inner guidance, and I trust that.
Okay.
And I feel like I work with the earth as a grid holder.
Yes. Yes. Well, sometimes when you're in that space and you're attempting to ground, it might actually be better for you to harmonize and then go into grounding. So harmonizing would be to be able to tune into your own heart frequency, which would be able to work with the meridian lines in your body and your chakra field and all of the bodily frequencies. And what I'm seeing from what's happening is that you are also receiving the cosmic rays, but also the higher ascended rays that are coming through you. And so it's so important to really make sure that your Earth Star, which is situated in your mission frequency down below, is sometimes centralized anywhere from 10 to 20 feet beneath you, and the Soul Star in the same position. Sometimes they can be receiving extra of information coming in. It's kind of like, when you're on a computer and extra downloads and uploads at the same time. And so it's a balancing of what's called the three main meridian lines, the Ida, the Pingala, and the Shoshana. And so one is rising up the left side of the spine, one's rising up the right side of the spine, and then there's the Shoshana in the center. And so what you can do is you feel the left side of your body and the rising up of the frequency, and then the right side of the body. So you're doing just a natural relaxed breath and feeling the rising up of the frequency. And then in the right side of the body, you're pulling down from the Soul Star and feeling the energy descend down in through the right side of the body and allowing for that frequency of the sun line to go down into your Earth Star. So balancing the Earth Star and the Soul Star above, and then bringing that back in through the Shoshana, the two intermingling and rising up through and into the crown. And so now grounding now with the earth, because she's going through her own cycles, it's kind of like she's having like contractions. So it can be really overwhelming for anyone who's doing earth grid work to be able to have that sensitivity. So that's why when you connect with your Earth Star and your Soul Star, so Earth Star beneath and the Soul Star above, and you feel that energy rise through the breath and feel the energy descend through the light breath, it comes into the heart. And in the High Holy Heart, we have what's called a figure 8 pattern. And right in the center there, that centering space.
Yes, and I'm guided to use the figure 8, too. I'll get that in.
Yeah. That way, before you attempt to do your grounding, so that you know, okay, what's happening with the pulse radius, or what's happening. Like when I'm looking at you right now, your Earth Star is like really supercharged. So you could just slow it down a little bit if it's too much, just with your breath. If you see I'm just looking at your Soul Star, and it's just like, it's radiating so much. Slow it down with the breath. Bring it down into the body, gentle. And then they just merge them together.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just gently circulating through. It'll gently circulate through your meridian lines and through the chakras, through the physical aspects of the body, and that will definitely even out. It's not going to be 100% perfect because sometimes there's going to be, solar flares. So sometimes there's going to be cosmic rays that are going to be coming in. But if you can just, you can work with that. And another understanding is you want to have a grounding crystal. If you like to work with crystals, in your left hand, and you want to have a light crystal in your right hand, and then you can switch them and just feel how that radius of the switching of the energy of those two different crystals.
What kind of crystals am I
like in terms of a grounding crystal that can work best for you, like bloodstone, carnelian. I wouldn't go with obsidian. That's too heavy for you because you're a really, really light frequency.
Okay.
In your right hand, you can do angelite, selenite, calcite. If you want, you can go to a higher crystal formation if you want.
In the right hand?
And just again working with gently balancing those two.
Okay.
So you're going to feel those two crystals. You can switch them over and see how it feels. And again, it's just really feeling the tuning of that moving through you. You can breathe
I have many
out.
different crystals in my apartments, and I get guided to put certain ones in my pocket. I've been a med tech for many years, and I just resigned, and I just retired last Sunday. And
oh wow! Congrats!
Congratulations!
Yeah, and it's another major process. I've saved $14,000, and I go month to month rent, and I have to look for a place to live. That's another process I'm going through.
Wow! So on top of everything else, there's that pressure on the physical level. It kind of feels like you may be drawn towards a collective group or a collective home sharing experience with individuals that have their own separate, unique healing spaces, but you can join and augment with them. That feels really strong. That you're also a really beautiful guide to help others to come into connections with the earth, like forest bathing and walking with rocks and water. You've just got a really big gift. Don't ever be concerned about the support that will come for you, because you've got a real amazing gift to be able to just be an incredible teacher, but not in trying to pound someone on the head with ideas, but just by how you can just so lightly play with people and they really respond to that.
I'll bump into somebody out or someplace, and I'll just speak something that they needed to hear.
Yep.
And it happens when it happens. When it happens. I don't have any courses or, I just walk with it. That's what I'm doing. I walk with my energy, I guess.
Yeah, and that's really powerful. It's like being a traveling yogi, going from different places. And in your community, it's just, you're doing so much of the weaving with Gaia's energy and the earth. It's really, really beautiful. Thank you so much for calling in, and I hope this is helping you. It's really not too complicated. Like I said, there are going to be those moments that no matter what you do.
Earth star. I bring them up in my body.
You bring them through. So you can feel like the Earth star is like that life force is reaching up, and then the light force is coming back down to meet it. It's like saying, I'm this beautiful goddess, and I'm saying to you, light force, okay, come down and bathe me and support me. And you've just got to really say to yourself, I am divinely guided and supported at all times.
Okay. Thank you.
I hope you're feeling the energy of this, because there's a lot of balancing going on as we're speaking to you right now.
Yes, I do. So I that's what my guidance was, to bring down the soul star, to breathe it in, and then to connect with the earth star, the crystalline earth star, and breathe that up. But I haven't, but this is helpful for me. I can do more of this then. That's great.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's just a fine-tuning again. And the harmonics of your being, I can hear in your voice, I can feel in your soul that you're really, really close to something birthing on a larger level for you. You may not be aware of it, but it feels like there's going to be a lot of support that's going to come around you. Welcome it.
Part of me does, but then I like to flow with my day and just keep stepping, So I will process, I will just start applying for, the places that I can afford to live in, and then just let the rest happen. It'll be a miracle, I know.
It's wonderful to speak with you.
Thank you, Pat. Have fun with it all. Yes, okay. Well, you know, our time is up for today, but if you have a question for Corinna and you would like her to assist you on your New Earth mission, you most likely already know this inside. And as we've witnessed, Corinna has a beautiful ability to nail it, to really bring that forth and validate that which you already know within you, because that's in the field already around you. You are bringing it forth. And so happy New Earth creations to everyone. Well, Corinna, I want to say thank you for being here. And as we close our sacred circle, maybe we could bring forth a short, brief message from the grandmother.
Absolutely. She's asking me to do some sound and just to come through, so we'll bring that in. And thank you so much, and all the callers. It's been just an absolute privilege to spend time with them.
Perfect. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. We will let the sound that you're going to play be our dance to the cosmic heart. And so we'll say goodbye right now and leave everyone with those sound vibrations. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Corinna.
Thank you. Blessings. Welcome, dear ones. This is Grandmother Alushama. We are so honored to be in your presence and blessings to this, that which is. As this unfoldment comes to thee, may you feel the harmony as we hold thee in this tender moment. So blessed is that which is, as we have from all eons, in all timelines, in all dimensions, come to this moment, to just feel the blossoming of the opening of what we call the white lotus, known as the pure immaculate teachings of the heart. And blessing be to thee as this sound and light flows through. May you receive the golden thread, the thread that has been traveling through the moment when you left the source divine as a light of infinite presence, as it has entered different fields of consciousness and dimensions until it has landed into this form in which you inhabit. And may you know this as a blessing now. Prepare thyself. Prepare thyself with thy heart as the sound of the breath that rises to meet the calling in your being. Long before anything was ever formed in thee, in all, there was the light, the breath. And from that cosmic breath, all formulations of that which is came to be. Everything is simply energy, and energy is in a constant information, formless, and the formless of all that is. When the hands that reach towards the prayer, just before they touch fingertip to fingertip and palm to palm, feel that vibratory field where this prayer frequency moves through, this cosmic thread of golden light, this grace that supersedes our karma, that Yamateya Satashani, comes into this field there. In between your hands, this loving light, this luminance of all being, pours in the gift. Are you ready to receive this transmission as it flows through and comes in? The fingertips touch, And this prayer is brought forth. Om Lyataye Yame Om Dayati Yame Om Radayate Yamarum Marahiyahe Om Dayari Amadonayari Oradia Senashe Om Diye May the food of light, the sound of love, the light that speaks in the language that is pure, the cup that is in the heart of all being, filled and overflowing with this liquid sutra of love. Om Tarema Shiyame Amaru Amda Yama Yare Om Dari Om Dari Om Dari Om Through the gateway of the heart, may we have the courage to be who we truly are, opening unto this field, to feel that gateway open, for the love of all it is, supreme intelligence, divine wisdom, merging together in the threefold flame of love, wisdom, and power. As we feel beneath us the gateway which we stand upon, and there we feel a commitment to rise up, to receive the glory of this light, as we feel above us the radius and the radiance of the connection, and we feel that divine immanence descend down, that which rises and that which descends, merging into the heart. From this commitment and this connection, may we feel the right side and the left side of the body joining together, the certainty to receive in I receive, I am, I am, I am, and to transmit through the confidence to send forth our internal mission and our global mission, feeling the two sides of the body, the left and the right hemisphere joining together, and feeling that is I am, that I am, coming together and merging in prayer pose. So we feel that which rises up the spine and that which connects through the central cord of the front of the body. And we feel at the back that which rises up through the consistency, through the spine, spiraling and rising up, two interconnecting fields that join together in counter-rotating motions, and there rising up. All the pathways that we have walked to come to live in this living moment of breath, and there before us, in the clarity of our being, from consistency to clarity, we join together. And in this moment, we have a moment of clarity. We're all joined together. All 7 gateways of love, courage, commitment, connection, certainty, confidence, consistency, and clarity join together to create harmonic coherence. There in the center of our being, rising up through all, is the glorious body of light. Shima Shima Tarim Mahani Gamarati Tarim Mahadi. Blessings to all. So be it, and so it is. Done, finished, and sealed. Thank you in all oneness.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Corinna Shaw. If you'd like a personal session with Corinna and the grandmother to accelerate your new earth mission to stand in your power, please visit the special offer link available on this webpage at acoustichealth.com/special offers/Corinna. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste. Thank you for listening, and thank you for dancing with us in our collective intentions as they go across the universe to the cosmic heart. I'd like to thank my wonderful team at acoustichealth.com, Heidi, Tony, Tom, Pam, Suzanne, and Garner, who assist with the production of Quantum Conversations, online healing retreats, and more. And thank you, too, for listening. If you've enjoyed this program, please share it with your friends and loved ones. And we thank you for shining your magnificent light and adding it to the world. This is when we love ourselves like no one else can. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.